to the Paul Harrell Program.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. The phone number to call us or text us is 870-275-9799. Welcome back to the program. We've got Justice of the Peace from Washington County. Sharon Lloyd is with us. Sharon, good to talk to you again.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be with you, Paul.
Absolutely. I'm glad you could come on. So I have this this story in front of me. I guess it's from last week. And you're being on the quorum court as a JP. I hear that Washington County is proposing to increase the parental leave and the amount of time people can take off, I guess, and get paid for it. What do you know about that?
Well, actually what it is we are proposing, I say we, an ordinance has been put forth to propose 8 weeks paid parental leave to an eligible employee serving as a primary caregiver following the birth or adoption of a child. Right now, the Family Medical Leave Act provides 12 weeks without pay, but an employee can take 12 weeks for when they have the birth of a child. But what Washington County is wanting to do is Washington County is wanting to pay our employees 8 weeks of those 12 weeks with monies that the taxpayers have, the right word is not given, but the taxpayers have had taken out of their taxes to provide for this. Now, I have opposed to this, and the reason I've opposed it is because that of the 570 employees that Washington County has, this would benefit only approximately 3% of our employees, and I just don't feel like that this entitlement, should go for just 3% of the employees. Mm-hmm. Right now, after 1 year of employment with Washington County, our employees are given 2 weeks paid vacation, and after 90 days, they can start earning up to 12 days off a year for sick leave. So that means within a year, an employee could get 22 days off. And what is required now is that you save your days, and then when you take maternity leave in part of this parental leave, I'm old-fashioned, so I call it maternity leave. But when you take this parental leave,
let's call it maternity leave. That's what it is, maternity leave.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Well, but calling it maternity leave, this ordinance goes for a dad as well. So if a dad is an employee with Washington County, not even having the child, Washington County is wanting in this ordinance to give the dad, if he is an employee of Washington County, up to 8 weeks pay to stay home, with his child.
Wow.
Now, yes. So,
I guess my question
is already
how did we as a society function? I mean, how have we been able to raise children at all? Over the last 100 years without this 8 weeks government, taxpayer paid time at home, and I know that sounds heartless, but you understand, Sharon, that's what they're going to say.
No.
They're going to say that I'm heartless and you're heartless for wanting the government to not spend money on something like this.
Well, and Paul, they've already said that about me. But I'm going to tell you, I am a mother and I'm a grandmother. I have 3 children, and 2 children are my own and 1 stepson that I helped raise, and I have 4 grandchildren. And all of us have always saved our paid time off when we knew that we were going to need it for maternity leave. I mean, I did it as a school teacher. Both my daughter and my daughter-in-law have both done the same thing. But there's another option. You can get short-term disability, and I had one person tell me, yeah, but I have to pay for that. It just boggles my mind that they think they have to pay for insurance. And, I mean, that's what the Obamacare wanted to do. I mean, Obama wanted to do. He wanted to just give people insurance and not pay for it. Yes, you have to pay for it, and yes, you have to be employed, and yes, you have to save your days. I have been already told that this is not an entitlement, but, Paul, that is exactly what it is. It's an entitlement. And this is what happens to cities and counties and states and our federal government. You just keep giving people money, and now you're in $22 million in debt.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
Washington County doesn't have this. So if we want to say, if we want to say bottom line, this is a fiscal responsibility. We
Yeah.
are not being responsible to the taxpayers when we want to give an entitlement to 3% of the Washington County employees.
And I don't understand because we have I've seen stories about Washington County and all counties across the state, and they're talking about how the Obama administration with their new overtime pay rules. You get the feeling that counties are already crunched for money. So why are we proposing to do more? Sharon, we're talking with Sharon Lloyd. She's a justice of the peace in Washington County. She's on this quorum court. She's against this piece of legislation. Can I ask you about business owners? I have it. I dream of a day where people who work for the government, right now, if you get a government job, it's thought, oh, you got a government job, you're set for life, you got all these benefits. I dream of the day when that is reversed, or at the very least, the certainty of a government job is the certainty of a private sector job. I think it's only fair. So are there private businesses around Washington County that can afford to provide this benefit for their employees?
If there are, Paul, they have not come forward. I have spoken to at least 15 to 20 small businesses, large businesses being Arvest, Harp, every school district in the area, and none of them provide this benefit, this entitlement for their employees. None of them. And I've had these employers tell me, well, and I've asked, well, why don't you provide it? Well, we just couldn't afford that. Well, that's what we need to tell the people that are sponsoring this ordinance. Washington County cannot afford this. We need to give our employees raises when raises are due. Right now, this budget cycle, we gave them a nice raise. Our employees, and they're very appreciative, and I'm glad they're very appreciative. But they were given a very nice raise. We had to tackle the insurance, and the insurance costs are just skyrocketing, and it's due to Obamacare. My insurance skyrocketed due to Obamacare, so we had to adjust that. The county decided to go on ahead and still pick up the increase that the employees pay monthly. Now we do now have a $1,000 deductible that the employees did not have, in the past. But as we went around the horseshoe, others JPs were talking about, I have a $13,000 deductible. I used to have an $8,000. And other employees other JPs were saying, I would be thankful for a $1,000 deductible. So, those are the kind of things that I want to tackle, and those are the kind of things that I want to give to our employees. And I say give, but those are the benefits that I think our employees deserve, not this extra cushion entitlement that, that some of the JPs are wanting to give. It is going to be on the third reading, which is November 17th.
Okay.
I encourage anyone that's wanting to hear this. First of all, I would like to just point out that when it was first proposed, the JP that proposed it wanted to do it on an emergency clause, which meant that we would vote on all three readings that night. I am very much against that.
Absolutely.
This is why we need three readings. For ordinances, there need to be three readings. Let it go through three cycles so people can start knowing about it. They can start showing up. They can start writing their JPs and saying whether they're for or they're against it. But as a conservative, this is just something that I cannot support.
Well, what should the people of Washington County do if they want to show up to this third reading? Where should they go? Who should they call?
They should come to the quorum court meeting, the monthly quorum court meeting, which is always the third Thursday of the month, which will be November 17th this month. They should also write. They can just send in one email to the courthouse, to the judge's office, and tell the secretary there that they want this sent out to all of the quorum court members, and the email will be sent out just showing, that you feel also that this is not something that we want to tackle in the economics are not there, Paul.
Right.
That's the bottom line. If you want to be cruel and heartless, the economics are not there. And I have to say, like I told one reporter, just getting here into the weeds, I told one reporter, these are several of these JPs are the same JPs that are crying that this is for the children, but they're not pro-life. So what do you want here? Do you want it for the children, or do you want it for the children? I mean, it's just
Hillary Clinton says those kids don't have constitutional rights until they're born. I'm curious.
Exactly.
I'm curious. In the one of the stories, this is the Gazette story by Scarlett Sims. She writes, some justices of the peace own businesses and don't implement this kind of policy. I'm curious, are any of the justices that are for the taxpayer picking up this policy, do they have businesses where they don't offer this themselves? That would seem hypocritical if that's the case.
Yes, it is true. That is true. And I'm the one that made the statement, and I did my research, and I found that to be true.
Well, there you go. I mean, that's just, and
exactly.
so I guess could we surmise from that?
And I was told that it's because they cannot afford it.
but other people can.
It's just so ironic that we can tell the taxpayers that they're going to afford it for the employees, but these businesses cannot do it. And I haven't found, and I would like to, I'd like to know of a business. I have not found a business that can do it. At the last quorum court meeting, somebody texted one of the JPs that's for it and said to them, well, Arvest does it. Well, I got on the phone the next morning with Arvest to one of the VPs there, and no, they do not do it.
Okay.
And no certain terms do they do it. So that was a falsehood that whomever, and I'm not going to go there, but whomever texted this JP during our meeting, because I made the statement that I couldn't find a business that did it, small or big. I could not find it.
And so then he says, well, we're a big business and we do it, and then you find out that that's not the case. Yeah, that's just ridiculous.
It's not the case.
It seems
and
to
that's
me.
Another.
Go ahead.
That's another reason why we want 3 readings when ordinances come.
So you
before the quorum
so
court.
you get the
because
information.
You find out things. Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
Find out things.
Well, Sharon Lloyd, go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying that this is not heartless. This is also. I mean, I'd like to go to your point that what happened to the American independent spirit? That I can take care of myself. I can save my own case. I can take care of myself. I got a great letter from one of our constituents saying the same thing. He, saying, as an American, I take care of. It was a male. He said, I want my wife to be able to. We want to take care of. We don't want the government taking care of us, from the cradle to the grave. We are independent. We want to take care of ourselves. And I mean, you can dig deeper into this, and that's what this is, bottom line. It's the government taking care of you, another step, eroding away at your, at your independence. They keep eroding away, and before you know it, I mean, they've taken care of everything. Well, I'm going to do my best to not allow that to happen.
Well, I appreciate the time. Sharon Lloyd, Justice of the Peace in Washington County. I certainly appreciate your conservative position on this, and we'll follow this, and I hope the folks of Washington County, this is the example of, trying to stop a growth of government and a new entitlement, and I appreciate you being an outspoken opponent of this. It's really good.
Well, it has been my pleasure, and I'm so thankful that you allowed me to have a few moments to talk about it.
Absolutely.
Thank
you. Be safe, Sharon. Folks, to me, it seems like that it's just easy to give away other people's money. And here's the thing with these politicians. She says that there's politicians, the JPs, they own businesses themselves and don't provide these benefits, but they want the taxpayers to do it. But here's the point that we never really talk about. Who gets the credit? See, the JPs get to spend the money, other people's money, and then get the credit that they're doing an amazing thing for these children and these families. How easy is it to give away other people's money and then get the credit for it? If I was a business owner that had a bunch of employees, I might even say, are any of these justices going to chip in and give this benefit to my employees? Because they're more than willing to make us and the folks of Washington County chip in to give the business to make the county and the government officials get the benefit. Are they going to do vice versa and chip in and provide for the private sector businesses to get? You see, it's just, should the government be doing and trying to do all that it's doing? No, it shouldn't. It should do basic things. It should do things for the general welfare, meaning benefits everybody, not a select few. And it certainly shouldn't do things when the majority of private businesses aren't having that lifestyle. I can't